What up? It's Golden Spaces, an Odyssey original podcast. I can't even talk with Justin and Nat. And it is A plus vibes right now. It is. I don't even know that Justin and I actually prepared to talk right now because, Justin, I'm still processing. I'm still just in awe of the breathtaking performance that I saw tonight. Not just by Stephen Curry, but also by Kevon Looney. They were the two. They share the game ball tonight. You know what I'm saying? Talk about getting your star player a bunch of extra possessions and talk about putting a team on your back. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Steph understood quickly. He understood what it was. This is what I expected to see in Game 6.
Right.
This is honestly, it is. I mean, and I'm not saying I expected a 50-point performance. I don't know that I expected that tonight, but I expected Steph to be aggressive, to be hunting his shot, to just, but this was incredible. Playoff history. He made playoff history tonight. The most points in a Game 7 in the playoffs. You know how many incredible people he surpassed?
Dude is different, man.
How many threes did he take tonight? My God.
My man took 18 threes, made 7. He hit 20 shots.
And he still shot over 50% from the field.
Oh, yeah. I think they say he's the first player to hit 20 field goals in a game since like Allen Iverson or something. Like, come on, man. That's like putting a team on your back. Almost 40 shot attempts.
Son.
Wait,
man, how many total shot attempts did they have? He had almost half their shot attempts?
Nah, they took 100 shots. Which, I mean, 38 out of 100 is...
So that's like 38%. Almost 40%.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like, this is just some GOAT level... when they lost Game 6 and I was in my chat with Michael Smith and Michael Holly, because Michael Smith wanted to talk shit to me, right? I said, okay. I said, don't front run now. I said, you're only talking when the Kings is up or they tied, And he was like, nah, I'm just trolling you. But I said, it's all good. I said, Game 7s are what legends and legacies are made of. And I mean, this man. Go ahead.
He's all time. When people want to say X player is better, this player is more, like, dude, let's be for real, man. How many people have you literally watched play basketball and be like, yeah, that person is better than Steph at basketball? It's not many, if any. You could say other people's careers are better, whatever the case may be, like they're on the same level, but it's no way you're watching this and being like, yeah, somebody out there in history has performed better than this guy can ever perform. Like, it just doesn't compute to me. There's nobody that can do what he does, and then he comes through pretty much every single time. He got all the all-time performances. He keeps adding to the resume. There's nothing else to say about it. Like, top 3, top 2. I don't know.
Well, I saw a tweet from Dave DeFore. I saw a tweet from Dave DeFore tonight. That's just like great performance from the greatest player of all time.
He knows ball.
No, he does.
Dave's been on the same wavelength for a few years on the Steph.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Look, I've always been of the opinion that Stephen Curry is the second best player ever after Michael Jordan. That's my opinion. My whole thing has been like, it's a resume building exercise at this time, which is why I haven't elevated him above Magic yet and others, because I mean, I know some people have, but it's just like Magic still has 3 MVPs. He still has 5 chips. I'm a big believer in resumes. That's why I don't just be elevating people. So that's just me. That's how I do it. But I feel very confident that he would surpass Magic. And if he does get a 5th I'm prepared to like
Mhm.
elevate him above Magic, you know, even if he doesn't have that third MVP yet, which I still want him to get. But
I feel you on the chips. I
yeah,
think the MVP thing is not gonna happen,
no,
but
that's what I'm saying. But I feel like Steph does not have enough MVPs. Like, not like he deserves to have more than 2 MVPs
for
because
sure.
this is his era. He's owned it and it's a dynasty. And it's really an injustice that he doesn't have another one because the media chose to penalize him and because of like other dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, you know, look, he'll again with the I don't even want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but with them, it's always a matter of like, can you just stay healthy? Because, you know, the year when he had his shooting slump, they were ready to give it to him, you know. And if the Warriors just didn't have such a wonky season, he would have definitely been in it, right? The conversation, the way he started off the season, you know. And so it's just like if you can just do like a semi-healthy year, like 60, well, you gotta do 65 games, but like 65
Mhm.
games, which honestly, if he doesn't have an actual injury, he can do. Steph is not like a load manager that he's gonna miss that many games unless it's due to injury. But if you can do that, like you'll have because there'll be narratives. It'll be like, oh, the oldest player, whatever, or you know, plus he's coming off a championship. So there will be reasons that the media will want to give it to him. He just has to like at a minimum be able to just be his normal self and play enough games, you know? And so
Mhm.
and then that would just be like more history. So I just feel whenever he gets that third one, it's gonna be like some historic shit. But I really want him to get a third one. But I don't think he needs a third one to surpass Magic, is my point. But he's, you know, he's incredible. And I've said this before, you know, like, you know, even today they were struggling on the ESPN broadcast after because they were like, this performance is like it's all time. It's only like with the all timers. And, you know, I think Stephen A, he was saying apparently, I guess off air when he was talking with Jalen and Michael Wilbon, like, you know, was saying that, like, you know, Steph, you got to start maybe thinking about him as like the best point guard of all time. And it sounded like they pushed back against that. And I'm just like, this is crazy to me. Like, we need to start talking about where he is in the greatest players of all time. Like, this wanting to, because first of all, anyway, if you say he's the greatest point guard of all time, and most people have Magic on Rushmore or in their top 5, then if he's greater than Magic, then he's one of the right. Like, what are we saying right
It's
now?
obvious.
So let's stop this
Yeah.
greatest point guard bullshit.
Right. Which, like you just said, people are kind of like putting themselves into a hole by saying he could be the greatest point guard of all time. That automatically puts him into pretty much everybody's top 3 because people usually go Magic, LeBron's. No, people go Mike, LeBron, Magic, or Kareem is somewhere in there. But Magic is usually no lower than 4. So if people are entertaining the idea that he could be greater than Magic, then obviously that puts him into a top 4, top 3 type of realm. So I think he's already there.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
just
I
like you
mean,
said,
I
it's a
just
matter
think as a
of building that
player,
resume up.
I think his play as a player, he is like no question. It's
Mhm.
just a resume building exercise to me. And that's what I always say. So I'm fine being patient and waiting, but we know, and we've been on this and we've been saying it, you know, and my whole thing, you know, because me and Michael Smith debate this kind of stuff all the time offline, but it's been like, my issue is, and he's not like an anti-Steph person. He's a proponent, right? And he's definitely a person who's called out the like, let's stop describing him as like shooter and stuff like that. But he's like, he doesn't have to prove it, but like he thinks that like if Steph does get this, he thinks this conversation is going to be something that like more people are having. And he's like, he shouldn't have to do that. But that's what it is. And I said, but here's my issue with that. Of no, he shouldn't have to do that. But also, y'all didn't wait for LeBron to accomplish all those things before you started having those conversations with him. He gotta
Right.
do that, do this again. Twitter talking about he gotta like, oh, what was that tweet that Denver Nuggets fan? Or he's like, if he does this and this and this, then what? Like,
Right.
what are we talking about right now?
Yeah, he could be the best player in the world if he repeats
Swiper.
as a champion.
Like, come on, man. Swiper, like, you
But
just be
all
saying some crazy shit.
right. But all Jokic has to do is get to the finals. And
Get to the
he's the best
finals.
player
Not
in the
even win it.
world.
Just get there.
Not win. Not win 2 in a row. Just get there. The goalpost
I mean,
people.
elimination on the road, game 7, nobody on your team is giving you anything, and you put up that kind of performance? Come on. Come on.
Looked like he was on a completely different planet, playing a different sport from everybody else. Like,
but
come on,
you
man.
know, this other player is better because he's taller. At what point do the results start to matter? At what point do the results start to matter? This is my point. Like, I'm not even beefing with people when you're just like, well, he's not as tall or he's this, that, because I get it. I get it. You're taught in basketball, like the taller, the more athletic, the stronger person is better if they have the skills or some of the skills Steph has and can do things, right? In theory, those players should be better. And yet, in this case, there's not. Why is it so hard for people to accept that he's an exception to the rule? And that's it. How are those guys better when they're not getting the same results? I got to hear shit about his coach, the players around him. I'm like, why do y'all think these players are so good? You don't think there's a correlation between how he elevates his teammates?
Right. Exactly. But let's let any player look good next to Jokic, LeBron, Giannis, and all of a sudden we're talking about how much attention they generate and how they make their teammates better and how LeBron is actually a point guard. He's a pass first player and all this type of stuff when he's taking all these shots. People they can't get out of their mind the traditional thought behind what a player should look like, how they should impact the game and stuff. These dudes, like Steph in particular, in this team, they flipped the paradigm. Like they don't make sense from a traditional sense. They do not make sense at all. No. And people can't grasp it. They can't understand, or they don't want to understand what they're watching. Like, the league is different now. Since their dynasty started, the league has completely changed from what it was the previous 67 years of basketball. Like, the big man is no longer king, right? In fact, all those lumbering big men are pretty much out of the league now. Like, with the exceptions of the unicorns, everybody's a tweener now. Those guys are sought after because you need to be able to guard the three. At first, it was you can't be a jump shooting team and win championships. Now you absolutely need not only jump shooting, you need pull-up shooting at a premium to even get close to winning a championship. You cannot win a championship today without it because you're going to run into a team like the Warriors who are going to blow you out of the water off pull-up jump shots. So you got to change how you assess the game. Like, it's just a different league now. And there's nobody in the league that's better at this shit than the Warriors and then Steph is. Like, the most important skill in the NBA today is pull-up shooting.
Yep. That's why
he's the king of it.
This is why I never accepted the whole Giannis is the best player in the world. And I mean, I knew that you and I viewed them a little bit differently. And I know you had Steph as the best, but like, you knew how I felt about the Bucks. I'm just like, this team, guys, like, they're frauds. Like, Giannis is a great player. I'm not saying he's a fraud, but I'm just like, and the reason I don't like to do this is because I know people try to do this to the Warriors, but it's still a different thing because, like you've always pointed out, it's like, yeah, like, they can't help that Kyrie and other people got hurt, but it was still LeBron on the other side of that, right? Like, yeah, Giannis dominated and it was an incredible performance, but it was also, he was the best player in the series, right? Like, you're playing against Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Like, when I said that the other NBA Faith, they were like, Chris Paul against Booker. I'm like, and who are they? I mean, like, he's in a different stratosphere than those guys, right? So it's just, they're not that level of player. They're not that level of player.
Yep, and we saw an example of that tonight. No better example than tonight. When you on a different level.
I tweeted that. This is why having the best player in the series will always matter, because he can get to another level. He can get to another level that no one else on the floor can get to.
Bingo.
And he will, let's be clear, he will be the best player in the next series as well. Doesn't mean that LeBron can't have a night where he's equally that level of player. but
Or even
playing
Anthony
every
Davis.
other night, playing every other night over a 7-game series, nah. And he's definitely better than AD.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's gonna be a fun
so
series.
it is. It is. And I'm really happy that they have home court advantage in this.
Right. Yeah, because that every other day thing is not going to be fun. But
If the Warriors
since
can
you at home,
steal one of those games in LA, they can make this a short series.
definitely. Definitely. I think they try to punch him in the mouth early because the Lakers are like, okay, we got 4 days off. They're going to try to steal game one. The Warriors got to respond, right? They got to rest up, get all the energy that they need going into that series, and then try to do what the Kings were trying to do to them, was pretty much run them and put up a lot of
Right, because
threes,
they can't keep up with
right?
that.
They
So,
can't
and
keep
I
up
mean,
with the pace, and they can't keep up with the threes.
word. We'll talk about that series in a little bit because I have a few different thoughts on it. But let's just get back to giving, I mean, let's talk about Looney because I mean, he is now outplayed completely the value of his contract. I mean, he is severely underpaid. What kind of contract should he be making, Justin?
Well, we've seen him completely outplay Sabonis this series. So maybe him and Sabonis should switch contracts.
I mean,
Yeah, he
based on
plays
the
all
centers,
82.
outside of Anthony Davis, based on the centers remaining, and Jokic, like I'm not talking about that. But is he not like maybe the third best?
Embiid, but like outside of Bam too. Outside of the
And
non-star, like all the bigs that made all-star teams, cool. But other than that, including Sabonis at this point, yeah, none of them I would rather have over Loon. Like I can't even think of
I mean,
who's
he
left.
just kept getting them rebounds after rebound. Oh my gosh, right. Loon, thank you for making me look like a smart woman. I always believed in you.
He's just so solid. Like he's just one of those. Like it's a big game. Loon's gonna come through. How many 20 rebound games has he had in the playoffs in his career? Like this got to be like his 5th one or something. Like it's crazy.
Dwight Howard for something. He set some history too.
Dude is crazy. I think he averaged 15 rebounds this series. The Warriors needed every single one. They're gonna need him to play well next series because AD is a tough cover, and the Warriors. I mean, the Lakers are quote unquote the bigger team, so we're gonna need Loon to play even bigger. But I have no doubt that he'll come through on that.
Man,
Sabonis is making double what he's making, and Looney out rebounded him by almost 30.
You get away with the bargain. I hope he is rewarded with his next contract. Like even if he's not fully playing at that level, I hope they give him a little something because of what he, the way like you gave Andre Iguodala one of them nice contracts, like maybe a little bit even if it's like a short 2-year one, but he deserves it.
He does. We already talked about how he's pretty much the new Andre on this team. So it's only fitting that he get compensated accordingly.
Going to the bench, not making a big deal about it. I mean, there was a time we thought we still needed a starting center over Loon. It's amazing. They spent so much time looking for their starting center, who it should be, and was right with them the whole time. I mean, this is just remarkable when you think about how his career started, all of the injuries, and yes, the pump fakes and the needing to gather will always drive me crazy. But I mean, come on.
Nobody saw this coming, really.
No.
Nobody saw this coming.
Except
like he just kept tugging along.
Except for layman analyst.
That guy, man. He's came so far though. Like this is the type of stuff that dynasties are made of. You get guys like this on a bargain who just keep getting better year after year. Found his niche in the NBA and on this team and just excels at it at a level that is just ridiculous. Like so steady, played all 82 games. Like, who would have thought that we'd be here with Loon? But
I mean, people are
they
like,
can't
what are
win
you gonna
without him.
do? Who are your bigs? What are you gonna do, son? Our
We
big
never
is
worried about that.
grabbing 20 boards, son.
Never worried about that. Iron Man Loon, different.
Man,
He was supposed to be a KD type of player coming out of college or high school. He just turned into the modern Dennis Rodman, and it's wild. It's really wild.
So, I mean, the war. I mean, look, this is the matchup everybody wanted. This is what the NBA wanted, which is why I'm surprised they didn't work it out to give them some extra spaces in between them games. Like, there's a bunch of old dudes on both of these teams. Right. But yeah, I mean, pace in this series is definitely, the Warriors' friend when they get there. Listen, what's so interesting too about today, Steph controlled the pace. Like, they didn't let them get out and run. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, maybe the key is the Warriors just have to slow it down. Even though they like to play fast, they like to slow it down. They need to slow it down. And I just thought, like, once it was like I guess it was like fourth quarter, but the way Steph kept like didn't speed it up, ate a lot of the clock. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, just controlled the pace, just kept eating the time. They couldn't do nothing. And then he would just shoot a three or a drive or whatever he did, a floater, and just like, just killing them, because they couldn't get the ball. They couldn't stop him. He's just eating clock. They couldn't play the game that they wanted to play. I don't want to ever hear shit about all these other, because it's always Luka and Bron, and no one can control a game like those guys. This is what, people don't realize when, you're letting Dre hold the ball and all that stuff. And that's, Dre's good because sometimes they do need to run and they do need to move, and he, gets them doing that. But like, don't ever think that Stephen Curry can't do this. They play it in a way that it, lets Draymond control a lot, but it's not because he cannot control a game like any of those other guys. And that's why when you get to see these displays from him, because people really think he's not this great passer. They think he can't like rack up assists. They think he can't score in a variety of ways. They think, he can't control pace. I mean, these are people also who are sometimes Warriors fans and people who watch, it's just like, he can do all of these things. Just because they don't play like that doesn't mean he doesn't have the capacity. And I mean, this was a masterclass in controlling the pace. And the other team could do nothing about it. Nothing.
And this is what I've been pulling my hair out about this entire series. I'm like, if we just take care of the ball, make good decisions, have the guys that need to be making these decisions having the ball in their hands, and just don't shoot yourself in the foot with just stupid turnovers and mistakes, then they should win by 20. And what did they do? They won by 20. Like,
in a game 7,
2 games away. In game 7 on the road.
Listen, Wardell, thank you for sparing my heart, because listen, I was not in the mood for no nail biter down to that. No, literally, because they take lives. They take years off our lives, Justin.
Yeah.
I would like a study to be done of people who are sports fans like us compared to someone who is not, and pick someone who's like comparable relative health, age, all of that, and see. Because I'm convinced these dudes take years off of our lives.
Got to. All of the stress hormones and stuff is at peak levels. You know what I mean? Like,
and I was like, it would really be nice if it's like a blowout. It would really be nice if they could just break this open. And I said, like, that's why I was saying, like, this game is not going to look at all like what people think it's going to look like, because that's just the way it is, right? Like, it never goes how you think it's going to be, because game 7s are not normally like this, which is why I said, what, Justin, 130, when you had that tweet talking about that, I'm like, in a game 7, they're usually so ugly, but I should know also with 2 like great offensive teams, it probably wasn't going to be that bad. But I mean, I think game 7 is part of the reason, not Steph, but I think that's a reason a lot of people were missing free throws on both teams.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I can't really speak for like Steph and Clay. I think Clay might have just been off. Steph, I think Steph missed the first one and then rushed the second one because he was like, I'm gonna just make this, and then he missed it. But Wiggs, Dre, and Loon, I think they were just so not gassed, but just playing defense, going for every rebound. Like I
So
don't think they
Wiggs
had the
had his
energy.
first 5, I want to say, and I was like, "This is so great." Wiggs is making them, and then he just started missing them. And I'm like, "Oh my
Yep.
god, please don't killing me!"
I'm like, that man must be tired because he wasn't close after the first 5 he made. Legs started to go a little bit.
But even the
But
Kings, they were missing free
yeah,
throws too.
yeah,
And I said
I think they
this
was
is
a
what
little
I'm
shook.
saying. Like when it gets tight, when it's game 7, you started seeing more mistakes. You started,
Yes.
stupid fouls, things like that. You just you seeing all kinds of stuff.
Yep. Turnovers. They young players started looking real young, right? Fox 5
So
turnovers and
they're gonna
5
tell you they're not
fouls.
scared. Chris gonna tell us no one's scared of the Warriors. Okay. Okay.
Don't be scared. That's cool. Don't be scared. You're gonna be
It's not about being scared of the Warriors. It's the moment you don't want to,
right.
mess up. It's the nerves. They hit you.
Yep. Exactly. And then when it gets to the point in a game 7 where the team is taking away your first and second option, and you need that third counter, the cream is going to rise to the top, right? And we saw tonight they didn't have any counters,
No.
right?
I mean, he didn't even lean into that small ball lineup as long or as much as I thought he would. I'm not saying it wasn't like super effective tonight, but I thought he could have he rolled with Sabonis, and I don't know. I think I would have just rolled with one of the other guys because it's not just this game. Sabonis was like neutralized in this series. He was really ineffective for the most part.
Yeah. And Sabonis was playing well in the first half. I think he kind of gave Mike some false hope that he'll be able to do the same thing in the second half. And you also got to, reward a guy when he is playing well. But the Warriors turned that shit up in the third quarter, and it was over with. Looney specifically, he's like, "You're not getting no more rebounds over me, bro. Like, it's over with." And that's what happened.
Bitch. He the only one on the Kings I don't like him.
Harrison too.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Harrison Barnes either.
I was going to say Harrison too. He can kick rocks.
I understand he's be on this team, but he be giving some energy I don't be feeling.
Herter, I don't like Herter either. He's a hack. Every time somebody get a rebound, he's smacking down. He's doing little chippy stuff. Like he's one of those guys. You're not one of those guys, bro. Cut it out. But Fox, respect. Monk, respect.
I even like Keegan Murray.
Murray, major respect. He's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I like them as a team for the most part. They don't annoy me. Davion Mitchell, right. I like
Trey Lyles annoys me. I'm not gonna lie. Trey Lyles is
I know you don't like him, but why does he annoy you so much?
Oh, we can go back and watch all the little shit that he was doing. Like he's trying to chuck people, run people over on rebounds. Like he's legitimately playing dirty out there. Like it's just he just does it on the slide, so you can't really see it. But he's a little weirdo too. But yeah, I like the King. Like you said, I like the Kings as a team, their whole vibe. But it's just a little individuals in there that I'm like,
I definitely don't dislike them like the way I do the Grizzlies, and I think the Grizzlies are the next team to watch, not the Grizzlies. Not saying the Grizzlies can't be good, but I think.
Yeah, you think the Kings are the next team?
The Kings. Yeah, I mean the Kings have a better coach. I'm sorry, like De'Aaron Fox is better than John Morant. John Morant has to change his style of play. Like he can't be so reckless. He needs to get a reliable shot. Like he's an incredible player still, like no doubt. But like I'd rather take De'Aaron Fox's skill set, and I feel like he tries more on defense.
Yep.
He's
better.
Yeah.
He's better defensively too. Like yeah.
He's a better player. So, it's hard to say because the Kings had a great regular season. But I wonder how they are feeling about Sabonis because this is like you need a center who's going to help you in the postseason, and that ain't him. I mean, you
I
gave
think
up
they should just.
a great piece in Halliburton, so they gotta. I mean, it may have never worked with Halliburton and Fox, but you gave up a great piece in Halliburton, so it's like you got to get more from him because at some point, just the regular season ain't enough.
Yeah, I do think it's just so early in their process that I think they can take another year or two of Sabonis, even if it equals a first or second round exit, just to get that playoff experience for their main guys. And then once they're ready to move on from them, they should probably make that move. As somebody on Twitter mentioned me and said, it's like the Fox Sabonis thing is kind of like Steph and David Lee, real early when they started making the playoffs. And then once they were ready to move on from David Lee and replace him with a player that fit more winning basketball and Draymond Green, then they took off. But they needed those first 2 or 3 series.
For sure.
Under their
A lot
belt.
of comparisons to that 2013 Warriors team. Marcus Thompson was definitely one of the first who pointed it out to me before the series even started. Like when he was previewing it, he was like, I kind of see them as like that 2013 team. And if they could push the Warriors like the way the Warriors pushed the Spurs, you know what I'm saying? They make a name for themselves. Granted, the Spurs were the second round and this was the first round, but they're the champs, right? And so you push the champs 7 games.
Right. So yeah,
even if we think some of this was fake, and even if we think it should have been a shorter series, you know what I'm saying? Like, I for sure respect them way more than I ever did the Rockets.
Yeah. Just from a personality standpoint as well, I would never respect Chris Paul, but yeah.
So I mean, I think they're the next team. Honestly, I think they're the ones to watch. Some Trae Young fans was getting mad in my mentions because I said that. I said them other guys y'all trying to crown ain't it. Because I mean, yeah, like Luka's there, but like, what are they doing in Dallas? They fucked their whole shit up.
He out of there soon.
Yeah, they fucked their whole shit up.
They surely did. And it's going to be interesting to see what Kyrie does because he can just dip and they can be really shit out of luck.
He had Lakers games. It seemed like that Kyrie's telling us where he want to be.
No. I think he was at the Warriors game today.
Kai?
I think he was there, yeah.
Okay. Well,
but he could end up there. He could end up with the Lakers. He could end up with the Suns.
They have the money to sign him, right? And they can just outright sign him, right? They don't got to give anything up.
Do they? I don't know. I think they got to make some decisions though, because I think his contract is up, and there's a bunch of other people they got to potentially resign. So he could end up there.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I mean, shout out to the Dubs, man. Yo, they just, oh my goodness, I just.
They said the road record was gonna be what do them in. 2 road wins in a row. Come on, man.
Fuck that fake road record, yo. We've been telling y'all. You know how many delusionals I got called, Justin? You know how many delusionals I got called? It's still goofy people in my mention talking about y'all listen to this girl and she ain't know Fox was a lefty until game 4. Son, bro, like
that's so minor too.
I'm like, son, I'm still getting paid to be on TV. I still have a podcast and I was still right about the fucking rebound shit. Like, if you want to believe about basketball, I watch the Warriors. That's who I pay attention to. Okay, that's who I pay attention to. I'm not saying I don't look at stuff around the rest of the league, but that's who I pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Like, kill me when I don't know something about the Warriors. If I don't know something about another team, I don't present myself as an expert on any other team.
Right.
I don't present myself as an expert ever. I say I'm a fan who just enjoys basketball and loves talking about it, and I'm passionate about it, and that's it. So I just think it's funny because like y'all really gonna die on this hill like it's hurting me, and it's not. I just think it's funny in the mentions. They still saying it. Y'all still listening to her?
They was waiting on something.
They was waiting on something. I think I did another fuck up tonight too, but I think in the hysteria nobody caught it, so I deleted it. Who knows? They might have. They might have. It's some like Charles Barkley Shaq type fuck up that I did. You know what I'm saying? You know how they be like when they don't be knowing certain shit. But I was like, oh man, I didn't realize it right away. I realized it like right when we got on, and I was like, oh damn it. I didn't even look at my mentions though, so I really because people were retweeting it and like just reacting to what I said in a positive way, like when I initially tweeted. So I don't know if anybody caught it, but I deleted. I'll tell you what it is when we not recorded.
After, right.
Oh my god! Listen, something y'all need to know about me is like I have ADHD, so it's a very weird thing because like actually diagnosed. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it just means that like well, everyone's ADHD brain works differently, but I'm actually a very like detailed, meticulous person, which and then but also sometimes like shit that's so obvious and right in front of me, I can miss. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's just how it is. It's just like it's really about what you're interested in. And like all people work like that, but like with ADHD brains, it's like to a different degree. So we're just like our brain is interest focused. So like if I'm interested in something, then I know everything about it and all the level of detail. But like if you're not as interesting to me, then I will miss like really blatant, overt things. And that's just, you're like, Nat, how you missed that? Like, why you ain't see it? I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. So, I don't really be caring or get that upset, but, people really get upset about these things, Justin. And I mean, we know it's because I'm a woman and it's also because of how I am. But it's just funny to me. A woman actually tweeted at me today to go take something. It was something, I don't remember, like some kind of pill or medication. She's like, you're always so aggressive. The tweet she was replying to? Chris was just like, I told y'all about the Knicks, because he had like tweeted earlier in the season that the Knicks can make the Eastern Conference Finals. Everyone's like, no, they can't, Chris. Like, what are you talking about, right? So now that they're in a position that they might be able to make it, I'm like, Chris, like you don't get to get credit for takes like this when that like people expected the Bucks to do what a number one seed is supposed to do. Like the Heat are not better than any of the top 3 teams in the East. Like, so not the Heat, the Knicks. Yeah. So it's just like, but now the Bucks are out of it. So I don't know if the Knicks win that series, but they could. And then that would give them a path to the, sort of like the way the year
Atlanta.
Atlanta. I was thinking about it, also the Blazers. The one year they made the Western Conference Finals, like that's why people kept saying that year between the Rockets and the Warriors was the real Western Conference Finals, right? Like, what was that, 2019, right? Because, like, come on, they didn't belong there. They weren't supposed to be there. Same thing with Atlanta. So it's like, but shout out. That's great for New York. Knicks fans are hyped. The Garden is, exciting. So shout out to them. But, the Heat went in and stole game 1 tonight. Wasn't looking like they were going to do that, and then they did.
I picked the Heat in 6. We'll see what Jimmy's ankle's looking like. But
yeah, well, he just has to get through that second game. But even if you lose it, you split, you did what you had to do, he's going to have like 3-4 days rest. So he should be good by the time they're back in Miami because they have that big ass layoff in between.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be able to get treatment and be good and, all of that. I mean, honestly, I know they're not going to do it, but like they could even just not even play him. I don't believe in trying to just like give up a win like that. But, I think it's probably unlikely you're going to get both games in the Garden anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
And Kyle Lowry came up big for them tonight. So, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to me because if the Heat do make it and end up seeing the Celtics, that will be interesting to me. Because they always play them tough.
They always steal 2 games off the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like Embiid, they're saying he doesn't sound like he's going to play game 1 or game 2. So if the Celtics need to not play with their food in this series. They better go get them wins. And Harden is still there and he can have a vintage Harden game. and he's still a great playmaker. So I don't think it's just going to be like you going, but don't play with your food. Embiid is out 2 games. Right. Capitalize on that shit.
Facts. I mean, the Celtics have struggled guarding pull-up jump shooters all season. They struggle with Trae Young a little bit until they start switching. So we'll see what their coverages are. If they go into that drop, then Harden and Maxey can steal a game off them with the Embiid not playing. So
word.
We'll see.
So the full second round is now set, Justin. Like we saw the fake ass fraudulent Suns. Wait, did you watch that game, Justin?
I actually didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights though.
Oh, Justin. But first of all, like, why are you not shooting enough threes in 2023? Like, I get it. I understand y'all love the mid-range and y'all are mid-range snipers, but you ain't gonna win not taking enough threes. You gotta take more of them.
Yep. Especially considering they aren't.
And so
they aren't.
People are like, oh, so maybe Denver is who we thought they are. Bro, Denver right now, they have a super easy path back to the Western Conference Finals, right? And so, like, don't be fooled. It's just 2 fake teams playing each other. That's all that is. It's 2 fake teams playing each other.
Yeah, I was going to say the Suns, you definitely need to take more threes if you're not going to be like a defensive juggernaut type of team. And against the Nuggets, who are a really good offense, you're going to have a certain level of defense. What was the final score? It was both over 120, right? I think. Oh, it was some high scoring, but yeah, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're fake teams. They're just clearly flawed teams, right? Like every team left has some type of flaw, and it was 125 to 107, and it just ultimately comes down to which team can impose their will more than the other ones, and potentially just who has the best player.
Did we decide who that is yet? I think you said KD the last time we talked. That's still where you at?
With it? Yeah. I mean, I think Jamal Murray was the best player that game.
Yeah, so it's interesting because it seems like when they're playing at home, Jamal Murray goes off, right? But like he's not having them kind of games on the road.
That's true.
So to me, that's still something that's like that people like respect Jamal Murray. And I'm like, son, like he's an amazing player, but like if you can't give me even close to the same performances on the road, then like I mean, you're not a role player, but you are like if you gonna play at that level, the whole point is you need to play at that level throughout.
That's true. I mean, he's kind of like in that clayish realm where it's like, okay, half of the series he's gonna be amazing, and the other half he might be just less than that. But that's what you need from your number 2. You know, like your number 1 is the one that has to be consistently great throughout, and you just need like 2 or 3 games for your number 2 to steal. And that's what I think Jamal Murray is. He's capable of doing that.
36 minutes for KD last night. 40 minutes for Buck.
It ain't going down. It's only going up. Because they do not have it on that bench. They don't got it.
No.
That's their biggest flaw right now. They are not deep at all.
No. And trying to act like that wouldn't matter. Fooling themselves. All right, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Golden Spaces Pod. Download, leave us a positive review. Give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you share, tell a friend. We appreciate your support.
Don't be leaving no reviews about my voice monotone and all this type of stuff. Come on, man. You talking basketball. Yeah, somebody was on Apple like his voice is putting me to sleep. I'm like, all right, man. That's crazy, yo. That's really crazy.
Are you serious? Now y'all heard the instructions. It's leave a positive review.
Gotta be a Twitter hater. It gotta be somebody on Twitter that's just not feeling us. It's cool though.
did not know someone said that. Shame on you guys. If you don't have anything nice to say, then you don't say it. You say it in your head.
Don't say it.
The instructions are
tweet
only
me.
a positive and favorable review. Y'all come from me. Y'all can't be coming for Justin, okay?
Right. At least tweet me. Do it that way. Don't put it on the review. Tweet it at me or DM me.
I hope he was not monotone tonight because Justin been amped and hyped lately. So y'all bugging.
Like, come on, man. That's why we gotta do a live watch so they can see the real reactions.
Western Conference Finals, we do a live watch. How about that?
Okay.
I mean, I want to say championship. I want to say finals, but it's like
that too.
We should probably do something before then. I mean, we could still do it then, but I don't know if this Lakers series gets sort of, we'll see. But let's definitely do a live watch for the playoffs. So we do that because I too want to see Justin in his element.
In my element. I got y'all.
I want to see it. Until next time, y'all. Take care.